Welcome to Disruption and Kindness. I'm Travis Swearengen, and I'm here with my partner, Caleb Monroe.
Hello.
And we're here to talk about brands, businesses, and how it impacts culture. What's up, dude?
Dude, I think you and me had a little bit of a fire lit under us yesterday for some circumstances and stuff.
Yes.
And it got us into a conversation where we have a rule. And for those of you that have been longtime listeners of Disruption and Kindness, you may have heard this rule, but Travis and I do not discuss the topics before the podcast. Ever. We do our best to just keep it on the podcast. You guys are getting fresh takes and nothing is curated at all. But as soon as we started talking, we knew that we needed to move this to the podcast quickly. And what we really wanted to talk about today is a question we get all the time at our branding agency, Monsoon. Businesses come in and they want to solve the problem of visibility. They come in and they feel like no one knows about their company. No one understands who they are, what services they offer. They feel hidden. They feel like growth is slow. And so they want to solve this problem of visibility. And so today we're going to talk about brand visibility.
Right. So, Caleb, what would you define as brand visibility?
So your company, your brand, I think a really easy way to describe it is top of mind awareness. And I think when someone associates a specific service, if I'm looking for a pest control company, or I'm looking for a plumber, I'm looking for a realtor, brand visibility is the fact that who's the first person or the handful of people that come to mind if I need a specific service or task done. That's brand visibility. You want to fight and get your company into that top of mind awareness for the specific product or service that you're offering. And to be honest, a lot of business owners that we encounter, they're incredible at the service they provide. We meet the best mechanics, the best plumbers. We meet incredible people who are so knowledgeable at what they do, but there's a giant disconnect between how do I take my expertise and connect it to the people that are looking for it in a way that's authentic and a way that's not scummy. Like, how do I bridge this gap using modern tools? And again, there's a big disconnect between tools you can use to increase brand visibility. But at the end of the day, brand visibility is just about top of mind awareness. And we get this question all the time. And we wanted to just do a full podcast talking it through.
Yeah, totally. So I completely agree with your definitions on those. Like, brand visibility it can be measured in views. It can be measured in impressions. There's all kinds of things that people will kind of throw at you on, like measuring whether or not people are able to find you online. But in reality, while brand visibility is incredibly important, brand visibility does not necessarily mean that you're making money off of it.
Right.
That doesn't not necessarily mean that you are getting a return on your investment, because at the end of the day, you're running a company and you can't pay your bills with impressions. You can't pay your bills with views. So if there is not a concrete strategy to turn those views into more traffic for the business, and you can't convert that traffic into leads and customers and sales, like your visibility doesn't necessarily make sense. It doesn't matter, right? So brand visibility is incredibly important, but not all brand visibility is equal, right? So it doesn't matter if lots of people are seeing you, if the wrong people are seeing you, right? Like I would rather have 10 people see Monsoon every single month that are for sure going to buy something than 10,000 people that would never have purchased anything from us at all.
Exactly.
Right. So brand visibility, it's incredibly, incredibly important. When your ideal customers are looking for the product or the service that you are offering, you want to make sure you are there. You want to make aggressive efforts to get there and to be present and to give yourself the best at bat possible to get those sales dollars. But at the very end of the day, if the wrong people are seeing your stuff and you're getting fed by your agency or your marketing department or whatever else, hey, but look at these impressions, look at these views, look at all the people that saw this. It's worthless. It's absolutely worthless.
I think A really great way to describe what you're talking about is something that we call vanity metrics. And so we really need I want to empower business owners. It's a big reason why we do this podcast, is to kind of peel back the curtain on branding, on agency, on ways that people sometimes like skew numbers and fudge numbers. I think statistics is one of the most manipulatable fields of science that people can use. All you have to do is add a percentage onto something, and immediately one view becoming 5 views is a 500% increase. And people can obfuscate data, hide data, like underneath the numbers. And so what we really want to do is we want to separate out valuable statistics that are actually measuring return on investment versus vanity metrics like impressions. And so a big thing is, it doesn't matter if 100,000 people saw you. If no one picked up the phone and called you, it's worthless. And so I think that as business owners, I want y'all to be prepared to go have conversations to say, but how many phone calls, but how many contact forms, how many actual leads, and start holding the feet to the fire on marketing efforts. And it doesn't matter that 30,000 people saw it. It doesn't matter that your Instagram followers increased by 500. Those things don't matter. Even on like an SEO side, they could show you, hey, this keyword went up 10 rankings and it's now on the first page. You need to be able to peel back the curtain and say, but how many people search that keyword a month? Like, how valuable is that? Like, so there are many ways that people can try and show, hey, we're doing hard work and this is moving forward. But if it's falling into a vanity metric category, how helpful is it to your business? And so I think those are big things that we want to talk about and separate out, is that not all visibility is beneficial to your company, like Travis said. And one of those ways that people try and fudge the data a bit is by just putting vanity metrics in front of you, or putting a lot of data in front of you, and not actually explaining what this means or how it's actually impacting your company or your bottom line.
The red flags for me are always when the reporting is almost exclusively in percentages. Mm-hmm. That's always the big one, because percentages are the easiest types of data to skew, right? I made a post forever ago. It didn't get as much traction as I hoped it would, but it was, we had helped a client get into a new CRM software, and we had no leads in the CRM because it was brand new and fresh. And so we turned on their marketing and the leads started pouring in. And they got, 700 leads or whatever it was over the course of a few months. We were like, oh my God, you had a 700% increase in your leads and all this stuff. It's like, no, you just turn on the, you know what I mean? It's just, you can make data say whatever you want to, especially in percentages. I'm not saying that all percentages are bad, but if that is the only kind of reporting data you're getting back, you might be getting hosed. Yeah.
You made a Facebook post after we had gone into like a season of just not posting very much. And Facebook reported back that we had like a 16,000% increase in impressions. And you made one post that people had seen. It's just because we weren't posting. And so percentage increases are one way that people swipe it under the rug. And I think that at the end of the day, what you're hunting for is, if my ideal client, like, first of all, identify your ideal client and your ideal demographic that is going to be purchasing from you. Once you know them, if those people are seeing your ad, your offer, your business, and then they're reaching out and calling you because that ad offer is like inviting to them and it's engaging and they feel incentivized to reach out and work with you, like, that's kind of what you want to measure. That's the healthy journey of brand visibility. People don't know about you. They search for you. They found you through multiple sources, and then they found an offer that was appealing to them. And then you had a great interaction with them to where you reach back out to them quickly and you built trust off of the bat. And that's a positive customer journey for a lot of the businesses that we work with. And to me, that's like a healthy expression of brand visibility, is I'm searching for something and I found the right company to do the job at the right price for me.
Totally. I think where I see like brand visibility plays like work the least is when literally the point of interaction with the end user, like the person on the other end of the phone or the other end of the laptop or whatever, is when it's like, hey, we exist, and that's all it is, like a logo and a song, or just like something that just doesn't make any sense or doesn't mean anything to anybody, and it's not paired with like an offer of some kind. I think that's a really huge issue for me, because again, people are going to be like, oh yeah, but we got your brand and your logo in front of like tens of thousands of people. But if there was no call to action, if there's no real direction on what you wanted those viewers to do with your ad, like they're not just going to arbitrarily go to your website.
Right.
They're not just going to arbitrarily go and like you on social media if you don't give them a reason to, right?
Yeah. You have to have an offer. You have to have a service that's attached to it, right? Like people need to understand it. I've seen a lot of advertising where, like you said, it's a logo, it's a song, it's a ditty, it's a happy Memorial Day post or, happy National Donut Day post. And I don't even know what they do. And I'm just left with that was my impression. I saw your company, you exist, but you're literally forgettable because there was no incentive. There was no step forward for me to understand why I would have a relationship with you.
Yeah. Happy National Donut Day. Look, client, my Happy National Donut Day post got 500 views. Isn't that great? No business owner in their right mind is going to be stoked on that.
So
no one's going to be happy.
We had a client come in recently that was just asking us, hey, what would you recommend me posting? Like, again, wanting visibility, wanting top of mind awareness, social media posting. How often do I post? How frequently? What channels? Is TikTok? Is Facebook? Is Instagram? Where do I need to go? And I think something Swearengen and I really, really want to drive home is there is no magic bullet equation or formula that will work across the board for every single company. It doesn't exist that way. You can't just get an equation and just do the thing. It doesn't work that way. Your company is specific and unique. The services and the offerings you have are specific and unique. The customers that interact with you are specific and unique. They have different needs, fears, dreams, desires, and there is no cookie cutter magic bullet solution that's going to work for brand visibility for you. So anytime a company comes in and asks Travis or asks me, how do I get more views? How should I be posting? We're 6 steps ahead of where the conversation needs to start. Who are you trying to reach? What do you have to say? What can you authentically speak towards with authority? How can you prove your expertise for people to even like and know and trust you? We need to have a conversation about what you would even have content about. And before that conversation, who are we even talking to? And you need to be having these types of discussions instead of someone giving you the 10 rules for becoming viral and you just trying to assume that that's going to happen. There is no magic bullet solution. You have to be having an individual and specific conversation about your company and who you're trying to reach out to.
And I get it. As a business owner, if you can systematize your processes and your product and your service, and you can make things as seamless as humanly possible and duplicate the process over and over and over again. You get so much more out of your people and out of your time. And I understand that. Right. But what happens is that you start applying the same cookie cutter strategy to every single business that is in your care. And they all have different customer bases that are going to react differently, to that strategy or to that kind of content. Right. So when you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail, right? So when you have set yourself up as a predominantly Facebook agency, it's always, Facebook to a landing page to generate leads, and it's a tactic that I love too. But when that is your main service, when everything is about trying to sell that kind of a package, you're going to find a way for that package to be applicable to their business when it might not even be the best choice, right? When you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail. Yeah.
And it's a big part of who are you trying to talk to? Okay. Now that we know your demographic, where are they? Where are they spending their time? When they pick up their mobile phone or their computer, how are they spending time on the internet? Maybe your demographic's not even on the internet, and any digital strategy is going to fall flat on its face. We need to understand who we're trying to talk to, and we can't be cookie cutter about that. There have been clients that have walked into Monsoon's doors that I listened to them talk about who they're trying to reach, and realizing very quickly, these people aren't frequenting places online that we can target, and it would be much better for them to completely take their marketing budget and throw it into a local event that they're actually raising grassroots community style awareness, to actually take it and just become a part of the community and invest in their company getting seen out in their city, than it is for them to try and pursue Facebook as an option. And so clients have left empowered with better marketing strategies where Monsoon wasn't the best fit because that wasn't the best place to throw their money. And so anytime someone's coming in and asking the brand visibility question, there's not an easy answer, because it could be TikTok. It could be you releasing a video a day. It could be you doing a blog post. It could be you hopping on a ton of podcasts. The fix for visibility is going to be based off of who are you trying to talk to and where are they at? And are you the right mouthpiece to release content to actually get your company in front of them? Or do we need to create a different style of creative around that to actually raise awareness on your company?
Totally. So other ways I see this kind of getting used and abused is by SEO companies.
Yeah.
So, keep in mind, I love SEO.
Same.
Search engine optimization is where I got my start in digital marketing. So it's always going to hold a big place in my heart. And it's a very, very effective strategy. It's incredibly effective. But I think that with SEO companies, you don't have to become certified in anything. Really, in digital marketing, you don't have to become certified in anything to start up a business. You don't have to get a degree. You don't have to test out with the state. You don't have to do anything like that. So the barrier to entry to start an SEO company is like nothing. You literally just need a laptop, and you could technically claim to be an SEO company, right? So you could do that, and a lot of people have. Like the sheer amount of companies that call Monsoon to see if we want to use their SEO service for our business. And we're like, bro, we do this. Did you go to our website? Do you know anything about our company at all? That you're calling, you're calling us wanting to see if your service would be applicable for us. And you don't even know what we do, And so they're just trying, again, when you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail, right? So they think their SEO strategy is going to fix literally every single problem your business can have. And in reality, they're literally trying to optimize for a search engine like Google that does not tell the public or anybody how their algorithm works, right? So everyone is speculating on algorithm changes. Everyone is speculating on how is this going to work? Does the old strategy work? Does the strategy we used to do now harm us? Because that happens sometimes where you're implementing a strategy with SEO that was like working super good. And then like they make a change and now it's hurting you. Like all that stuff is stuff that everyone speculates on in the SEO community, and no one is in actual control of it. Like nobody can just, do a magic. No one's got a magic technique that's going to turn Google on, on a dime. Like my favorite like phrase that I hear about this all the time is when Caleb talks about it. He talks about how Google is like a really big ship and it doesn't just turn on a dime. Like it takes a bit to like turn the ship, and it can take months and months and months and months and months of investment to make SEO have a return on investment.
Yeah.
Right.
Like Travis said, we love SEO. SEO is incredibly necessary. Right. The ability to be found organically when someone goes to Google, which Google is the place with the highest buying intent, maybe outside of Amazon, like for what you're looking for as far as general business services, Google has incredibly high buying intent. When someone goes onto Google, they're looking for an answer. They're looking to exchange money. They need a fix right now. And so the ability to be found for those keywords inside of your city and be found on the first page is massive. Now, the problem is SEO companies and the way that they're incentivized to work is that it's about getting you on board and getting you signed up for as many months as they possibly can. And they're trying to sign up as many clients as they possibly can. And so at the end of the day, it's an efficiency game, like for them. And I think that the amount of people that walk through the doors and are saying, hey, I've been paying this guy 6 months for SEO, 9 months for SEO, and I haven't seen any results from it. I'm hearing that. And internally, I'm thinking that's normal. That SEO person literally didn't tell you that SEO usually takes between 12 to 18 months for you actually begin to see results. Now, granted, that's a very broad statement. That doesn't take into account how competitive the keywords are, what region you're trying to be found in. Like there's a bunch of factors, but just understand a good expectation for you walking into SEO is this is a long-term strategy that has massive benefits to it if you get ranked on the first page, like massive benefits to it. But you need to be setting an expectation internally. This is going to take 12 to 18 months. Even if I find an incredible SEO provider, 12 to 18 months is a good expectation. Now, there are clients I've done SEO for where I've seen them skyrocket to the first page in 2 months. There's clients I've done work for where I've
Yep.
seen them skyrocket to the first page in 3 months. Can it go faster than that? Sure. Can it go slower than that? Yes. It depends on how competitive your keywords are, how many websites are trying to rank. Are there national websites that hold more rapport? There's a lot of factors that go into it. But I am so tired of seeing shocked expressions on business owners' faces because their SEO person didn't tell them the truth that this can probably take 12 to 18 months, even on my best work. So what ends up happening is the client will hang out with an SEO company for 6 months, get tired, stop paying them, hop in with another SEO company for 6 months, and then start to see the fruit of that first company's work start to happen. And again, that's in the best case scenario that these guys are hardworking SEO companies that aren't trying to take advantage of people, which we have seen as well. So we don't have a problem with SEO. I think that people need to understand that a lot of the small business owners that are coming in, they know they need visibility. They know they need to rank on the first page.
Yep.
And they need calls now. They need calls yesterday. They need leads yesterday.
Yep.
And if companies are hearing these people out and asking the right questions, and their main recommendations for I need calls now is SEO, that's a problem to me. Like SEO is going to fix calls 12 months from now. SEO is going to fix calls 18 months from now, which is super, super necessary. But we hear it misdiagnosed all the time, and people get told SEO is super important, and they're spending their money on something that's only going to bear fruit 18 months from now. I think that's problematic and something that we wanted to talk about in terms of visibility.
Yeah, totally. So what I would actually kind of like to back up a little bit and talk through is you're saying like 12 to 18 months to get results, right? I know there's going to be people even within like my own marketing community that are going to disagree. Like, no, I get results in, 5 to 6 months. I get results in 3 months. For me, it's like everyone's got a different definition for the word results, right? So are we talking results for get you on the first page of Google for the keywords you want? Or are we talking about results for optimizing the landing page, converting that traffic into leads and those leads into customers and those customers into revenue?
Very
dollars?
important.
Very important distinction. So if we're talking 12 to 18 months, we're also including that because that's the other side of the equation that no one's talking with you about. What happens when they get you to the top of Google and your website sucks? Like they've done so much keyword cramming or done a bunch of weird backlinks or a bunch of weird stuff with your title tags. And let's say they do get you ranking, which, those strategies are real hit and miss nowadays. Yep. Like let's say that's happened. Well, now your website's weird. Now it doesn't convert, right? Or they haven't worked out an offer with you. And so we haven't worked on converting traffic into customers. So it's like, okay, you are ranking. And so if you're ranking for these keywords and they're pretty specific, you're probably hitting the right people. So that's good. You're getting the right people, finding your website, hopefully. But unless we've also have a holistic strategy for converting those search queries into actual revenue, you don't have results, in my opinion.
Right.
Because again, like that business owner cannot pay their mortgages and their rent, their overhead, their employees with search results. Like the SERPs doesn't mean that you're getting revenue out of it. Right. So that's the other thing. And I think it's because, a lot of these agencies, they're only thinking about the SERP results, right? And they're not considering that like this guy wants to make more money and that should be my end goal. Right. Because here's the deal. And like, we're talking to business owners that are, getting preyed on by a bunch of these agencies. But let's say you're trying to run an upstanding SEO service, man. Like, if you're trying to do SEO for local businesses, like you can say, hey, Bill, look at all these great results I've got for you. You're ranking to the very top of the page for all these keywords you've got. And he's over there going, dude, I'm paying you $2,000 a month and I haven't seen a dime from this. Right. You're still going to get fired. You can do the best job humanly possible and provide the best results to your ability. And if it's not converting into dollars, you're going to get canned.
Right.
It doesn't matter how good of a job you do.
Yeah.
Right. So that's why like as agencies, We have to look at the entire equation from the search all the way to the conversion.
Yeah, 100%. And I think as a business owner, you need to find an expert. You want to find an SEO expert. You want to find your web design expert. You want to find your videographer. You want to find your marketing agency. And you're going to pay different people for certain things. And if it's disjointed in its vision, and if they're not sharing and communicating with each other, or there's competition between the two, and there's a lack of trust that's happening, it's only harming your business to have gears that are grinding up against each other instead of working smoothly. And I think that what's really hard about SEO and why I have a hard time recommending it a little bit more than I used to right now is the fact of Bard. It's AI. There's a bunch of stuff that's changing in the search engine landscape right now that gives me pause, where if I know that I start good work for this client, this can take me on average 12 months to see it. I cannot tell you what Google's going to look like in 12 months. I can't tell you what the search engine landscape is going to look like with AI, with Bard, with ChatGPT, with a bunch of other stuff that's going on. And so there's a problem for me where go back 3 years, I feel great. SEO is awesome. Let's do it. I know where Google's going to be. But right now, there's so much uncertainty in the waters ahead that it gives me pause. And if your SEO agency that you're talking to is not communicating some form of warning, pause, hey, this is really weird time frame that we're in. The industry's kind of on its head right now. We're kind of holding our breath to see what Google's going to pull out of the hat next. Then I would be concerned about how relevant their strategies are and how much they are up to date on what's going on inside of the environment. Again, let Travis and I communicate it one more time. We love SEO. It's super necessary for business owners, but there's a big problem when warnings aren't being communicated and education isn't happening to the client where they feel like they understand the work that's happening and they're educated on the why behind what the SEO company is doing and where we're actually heading, instead of just receiving a monthly report with a bunch of pretty graphs and percentages that don't actually impact my bottom line. That's really what we're against. Now,
oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good, dude. I was just going to say, transitioning into something that what you can't control for a lot of business owners in terms of SEO to something that you can control is Google My Business. And it's Travis's and mine's probably number one recommendation for the businesses that walk through our doors is to really be looking at their Google My Business, because it's free, it's inexpensive, and it's massive because it actually shows up above the SEO rankings if you've done it correctly.
No, totally. I think that Google My Business is one of the most slept on platforms for getting good brand visibility and to actually get found for your services by the people that, are actually, trying to find you. It's fantastic. So when we try to get people to start racking up reviews, for example, I think that reviews should always be at the very end of your sales process.
Yes.
Because usually what people do is, okay, I have converted the sale. Now we have to deliver on the product or service and the sales process is over. No, it's not. The sales process has not ended yet until you have asked them for a review. People are not going to just out of the goodness of their heart leave you a good review for doing a good job. People only leave reviews when they're pissed off. That's it. Period. End of story. So in order to get good reviews, you have to ask for them. So when we try to get people to ask for good reviews and to go I want you to go and ask for good reviews. People are like, okay, where? Should I do Facebook? Should I do Yelp? Should I do Google? Should I think there's Angie's List. There's all kinds of different places where people can leave reviews. But the problem is that you want people to see as many good reviews as humanly possible associated with your name. Right. And 90 something percent of 90 something sounds really scientific, but 90 something percent of all buying decisions start on Google.
Right.
It used to be 92 or something like that a few years ago. I don't know what it is now. I'm sure it's more, but with most buying decisions starting on Google by searching for it, you want to make sure your reviews are front and center where people are shopping out the gate. So that's why my biggest recommendation is you should always try and direct your reviews efforts to Google My Business, because it's going to help you rank in Google My Business, but it gives you that social proof where people are like, oh man, these guys have 347 5-star reviews. I bet they're awesome. You want them to feel that way about your company.
Yeah. And Google My Business is free. Go set it up, go get verified, have your hours be updated, have reviews start to get generated from it. if you don't know how to create a Google review, like, and a link to easily send people to leave you a Google review, please reach out to us. I would love to help you with that. We just fixed 2 people's Google business pages yesterday. And it's something that Monsoon loves to do, is to help people understand their Google business page, because it's that valuable of a service. And it's easy for us to actually walk through and make sure that you're ranking for what you need to be found for and that things are fixed. But we recommend it because it's free. And I recommend it because before they've seen your logo, before they've seen your website you've invested in, before they've seen all the SEO work that you've done, if they do a search for your name or your service, your Google business page is popping up on Google first. And what they're seeing more than anything is 3 photos, and they're seeing your reviews. And people have been trained by Amazon over and over and over again, where if I see a business that has 500 5-star reviews and I see a business that has 40 5-star reviews, which one am I going to go with? It's all about, as a consumer, It's all about risk mitigation. It's about me saying, hey, if 500 people were happy, that's a lot better than 40 people being happy, even though 100% is 100% on both sides. Like, I think that you don't understand the power of a review. And when you're talking about visibility, this is someone's positive sentiment towards your company that is working 24/7 to build trust with people that have never talked to you, only seen your name, and only seen a really cute yellow star, like with a number next to it, right? Like, this is such a strong bit of social proof that is so unpursued by business owners right now. Like Travis said, the easiest way to do it is put at the end of your sales process. That aha, super happy moment. Hey, restaurant, you just gave them dessert and they're so full and stuffed and satisfied. And you're like, oh, they tell you, man, this was incredible. That's the moment. Train your server staff to ask them, hey, would you like to leave a Google review? Monsoon creates these tappable NFC like cards that you can tap on someone's phone.
Yeah.
It takes that person directly to your Google business page to leave a 5-star review. You need to remove as many barriers as possible and just ask. Most people are transactional. And so they think, I got a good service and I paid money and we're done here. Like, that was our transaction. What they don't realize is how much they can help your business and how motivated they are if all you do is just ask them, hey, love that you love the pie. I love that you love the service that we offer to you as a plumber. Would you be willing to leave us a review? People will go out of their way to do that because you asked them. You made them important and a part of the process of your success. So please, please, please pursue Google My Business and pursue getting reviews on that platform specifically.
Yeah, it's like the law of reciprocity, right? You know, you've got to hook them up and take very good care of them, but they, like, if you ask for it, they'll most likely leave you a great review. You know, another avenue that, you know, we can talk through are digital ads.
Yep.
So like this is like Facebook advertisement, YouTube ads that are like pre-roll.
Mm-hmm.
This is you know, Google search ads, and there's a lot of different solid ad platforms out there, but the big ones are owned by Google or by Meta. And I love this form of brand visibility. I love this way of acquiring it because you can get really targeted on who you're serving your ads to. You can give them an offer. You can send them directly to a landing page. You can have them call your business from the ad. You can have them fill out a form that is automated through Zapier to go to your CRM. Like there's so many ways that you can utilize advertisement. And what's great is that it's immediate.
Yep.
So you're not worried about, man, I really hope that the SEO mountain I'm climbing doesn't like change in 2 months. You know what I mean? You're getting people directly, you're getting your offer directly in front of the right people, and they have an opportunity to, you know, to become a customer, to go to your website, to fill out your form and convert, to give you a call,
right,
to, you know, whatever it is. But the same rules apply though, right? There's people that will run your ads and they'll say, but look at all the impressions your ad got, right?
Mm-hmm.
Look, 218,000 people saw this ad. Isn't that great? But again, are they having the conversation of what happens when the person that got the ad clicks on the ad and bounces directly off the website? What do we do? What happens when people aren't buying? What happens if the offer that we thought was going to be a home run sucks?
Yeah. What happens if we didn't craft an offer at all?
Conversations. Right. Like we're not having these conversations a lot, I think. And or a lot of people aren't having these conversations with business owners. They just think, okay, my SEO is good. I'm going to make more money. Okay, the ads are out. I'm going to make more money. Okay, my Google My Business is set up. I'm going to make more money. But we're not talking about what happens when it's like, when dogs are constantly barking at cars and you're always like, what would you do if you caught the thing?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what will we do when people actually show up to the website, when they show up to the yard and they don't like what they see?
Yep.
Right. What happens when they show up thinking, oh, this is going to be, a really great experience because the ad looks nice. The ad resonates with me, but now I'm on your landing page and it looks like hot garbage.
Yep.
Right. There's no like ad landing page congruency, where people are like, okay, the positive experience that I've had with this ad is not carrying over to the website. Right. So there's reasons why people bounce off of these things, but we're not having those conversations with business owners as an industry. And so people aren't making money, but lots of money is going out the door because you're probably paying an agency a retainer rate.
Mm-hmm.
You're probably paying Google or Facebook or the platform and ad spend, right? So you have lots of money going out the door at a much faster rate, but you're not getting anything back.
Right. And the real danger here that we're talking about is just strategic conversations aren't being had about, again, who are we trying to talk to and where are these people at, so that we can craft an offer that's specifically answering a hair on fire issue that they have, so that offer is strong enough to actually have them respond. And is my agency actually monitoring every step of this process to find the bottleneck? Because maybe people are clicking the ad, maybe people are searching on it, they're clicking the ad, but like Travis said, no one's actually filling out a form or calling. Well, the problem is the page that they're being sent to and the offer that's on that page and how it's represented. And so are they optimizing that to finally get calls happening and traction happening? Because people are clearly interested because they're clicking. And so it's identifying the bottleneck and fixing the bottleneck, finding the new bottleneck and fixing that bottleneck. And that's what marketing needs to be, to actually create a cohesive platform. But if I'm a business owner and I'm having a problem with visibility and nobody is finding me right now, the direct answer to this is always going to, from an immediacy to get my business in front of somebody, digital ads. Like Google My Business takes time. SEO takes time. If I have an immediacy issue and I need my logo, my offer, my business in front of somebody, it has to be advertising. And digital advertising is one of the best places to throw your money right now if you have the strategy. There are so many companies right now that are lighting their money on fire through digital ads and they feel bad about it. Well, Facebook's just not working and TikTok's just not working. And these things aren't working because they're not having those first conversations and those foundational conversations of who am I trying to talk to? Where do they hang out? How can I get this in front of them? And how can I create an offer that it's bulletproof? How can I create an offer that they can't walk away from, right? Like, how am I going to create an offer that's going to incentivize this relationship around a product and a service that is going to make me profitable, right? So they need to be having these conversations with you. Once we know who we're talking to and we know what they need, like we need to be having a conversation about what service are you even trying to advertise? Not advertising all of your services. We need to niche down. Marketing is super effective if we can actually funnel a niche to a single service and make you the king of that service. That's a big part of what we try and do. And let's make you the king of a service that's highly profitable for you. Not low margin, high margin. Like, what I look for when I'm trying to market for a client is I want something that is high profit, low labor, and scalable, so that if this marketing campaign goes gangbusters, this business doesn't die because it's just a bunch of work without a lot of profit. Let's build a marketing strategy around a winning horse that's going to grow and allow your business to scale effectively off of it. And then you can actually reinvest from a position of strength, from a position of return on investment, instead of just trying to like spread your marketing dollars so thin across the board that we're not backing any winning horse. It's no advertisements being seen because we're actually hurting our company. Like, niche when you're doing it. Be having these conversations with your agency. Like, make sure that they're actually having these conversations with you so they understand the intricacies of your company to effectively advertise you in the first place.
Totally. Yeah. There is just so much garbage in this industry. It drives me completely crazy. Caleb and I were talking about how, frustrated we were yesterday, just kind of watching we'll have clients or customers or whatever come in, prospective customers, and they're having a horrible go at it with a marketing company. And a lot of times it's because what we do is so complicated and intricate that it's not common knowledge. It's not easily explained. It takes experience to understand the nuance. And so it's so easy to prey on ignorant small business owners and just tell them things like, well, if you only had SEO, if you only had digital ads, well, if you only had Google My Business, then all of your business problems would alleviate. You'd be able to scale out. You'd be able to put your daughter through college. You'd be able to pay for your kid's 5th birthday party. You'd be able to, you'll be able to take your wife on the vacation you always promise her you'd be able to take her on. If only you had SEO. And it sucks because I've run several 7-figure marketing campaigns, and it's never as simple as if you only had SEO.
Right.
It's never as simple as if you only had Facebook ads. It's never that simple. There's always so many steps that you have to consider throughout the buyer's journey to make sure that people that are finding you are converting and becoming customers in a way that is profitable for you. And it's hard watching so many business owners get burnt on our industry. It's hard watching them get financially hurt in these situations. And what's sad is I don't think a lot of these guys are doing it on purpose.
Right.
I think a lot of these agencies just don't know. And that's the scariest part to me.
Yeah.
Is they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, everything's changing so fast inside of this. The amount of times Facebook changes its ad platform over the course of a calendar year is insane. The amount of constant and continuing education that somebody has to have to maintain expertise in these areas is a lot of work. And I think that you can get a level of mastery, hold on to that, and try and scale a business model around a specific strategy, only to have that strategy slowly fade out of relevancy and eventually get to a point where you're offering a subpar service without realizing that you are as an agency because it's actually not effective anymore.
Right.
And again, I think it's just falling asleep at the wheel, getting comfortable inside of that and not having someone doing the work so that you can actually continue to pivot, educate yourself, educate your employees, keep people. It's so much easier to just do the work that makes you money without thinking about the work that's going to keep you making money for 10 to 20 years down the road, which requires constant continuing education inside of these fields to stay on course. And so I think it does suck when customers come through the door and they've been harmed by a company beforehand. But a lot of times it's just a matter of that company misdiagnosing it and trying to apply a solution to it that doesn't work. And that happens across the board. The amount of times I've seen family members and friends have to go to a doctor 3 to 4 different times because they're actually getting a problem misdiagnosed and it turns out to be something completely different when the expert in the room finally sees it and has the advice that they actually need to fix it. When it was, let's try homeopathic, let's try surgery, let's try these things, people can
Right.
misdiagnose. That's a normal thing. And it doesn't mean that they have malicious intent. What it means is you need to find an expert that you can trust that's willing to educate you along the way. I love putting our business owners in the driver's seat of their company. I love educating them to where they feel confident understanding the direction and the decisions that we're making and the why behind the decisions that we're making, and not just, hey, you're the expert, we trust you. Yeah, figure it out. I think that's a real quick way
Right.
to fall asleep in the back of a cab and wake up, 10 miles away from the journey that you want to actually be on, right? Not knowing where you ended up or how you got there. And so I feel very strongly that I want that client to be a partner. I want this to be a partnership. I want to educate them in the same way that I need valuable insight on the inside of their company to make good decisions. They need insight on what we're trying to attempt and the why behind it so that they have complete trust. And that trust has to be built over time. And I think all too often, communication stalls out. emails stop happening, things stop happening, invoices keep coming faithfully and consistently, and communication doesn't. And I think that a lot of business owners experience a very high influx of touch points on the front end and slowly tapering out into non-existent communication until they're ready to hop to another agency. And I kind of hate that model. And so a big reason why Travis and I wanted to even have this conversation is over the course of Monsoon's life, we've had hundreds of conversations with business owners about the topic of visibility. And we wanted to kind of clear the air and hopefully educate you and give you more tools in your tool belt to have conversations with, whether it's Monsoon or not. I want small business owners that are listening to be educated on the questions they need to ask to be able to vet out and find the red flags themselves, to not put themselves into a bad situation with someone that doesn't have their best interest in mind.
Totally. Absolutely. Honestly, like, we just want our listeners to feel empowered to be able to navigate this space, because, guys, the solution is not to stop marketing. Right. Like, the solution is not to stop advertising, to stop focusing on SEO, to focusing on all these things. Like, you need these services for your company, depending on who your customer is and depending on what you're trying to accomplish. It depends, but you need to have a solid marketing strategy for your company. And that's going to look different for everybody. There's not a one size fits all. And of course, everyone's going to have the solution, right? It's going to be their service, their thing they push. If your marketing company is not trying to intimately get to know your business and to understand your customer base and trying to figure out where they're hanging out, even if it's not the platform that they prefer, like, they're not looking at the big picture. If they're not trying to figure out how all of this stuff is going to, if they can't tell you the plan on how all this is going to convert into revenue, right? They're completely disconnected from the process. And so we want you guys to be empowered and informed and know the right questions to ask, or to even have someone that you can ask. Like, if you're a D&K listener and if you want to hop on Monsoon's calendar, this is not a sales pitch. This is not a call to action to work with our agency. But if you want to hop on our calendar as a D&K listener, just like pick our brain or ask us some questions on something that's happening, like, I would invite that right now. Like, I'm totally okay with that right now. Like, I think that the show is young toward the demand for that might be low enough. But like, if you're out there and you need someone to chat with about this, or you think that you're getting taken for a ride, we'd love to give you a second opinion. We want to be a show that provides the most value to our listener base, because we're really, really thankful for you. Like, we couldn't do this show without our listeners. We couldn't do our agency without our clients. We couldn't do this, without other people. And so, let us take care of you. Let us serve you, and if you've gotten any level of value from this episode, we would love for you to share it with the business owners in your life. I think they would find it the most, applicable, tactical, helpful, valuable, right? But we'd love for you to share this. We've got a page at Disruption and Kindness. It should be at Disruption and Kindness on all social platforms. We're also starting to cut these things up into shorts for TikTok and YouTube and Facebook. If you see those out there on the internet, we'd love for you to share them and get some visibility on this for us. We want to create the most helpful and insightful business branding and marketing podcast on planet Earth. And we will see you next week for Disruption and Kindness, episode 19. Thanks. We love you guys.